By the time I met her, the universe already belonged to her kind. They were called the Kilari, towering silver-skinned humanoids with eyes like prisms and intellects that defied quantification. While humanity explored its solar system with fragile crafts and hesitant probes, the Kilari harnessed dark energy, sculpted entire planets, and erased entire civilizations without so much as blinking. To them, humans were not enemies or equals. We were icons, living, breathing deities, worshipped, studied, feared. To her people, humans were sacred beasts. I didn't know that when I was captured. I was a UES ranger stationed on Mars Colony V, when the Kilari ship appeared in orbit without warning. It was silent, obsidian smooth, and the size of a continent. Our defense satellites fired instinctively. They melted like wax under a god's gaze. In minutes, I was yanked from breathable atmosphere, sucked through a vortex of pure light, and landed face-first in a containment dome of impossible geometry. I remember trying to stand. My knees buckled. My heart slammed in my ribs. And then she walked in. Her name was Vylara. She was unlike anything I'd seen before. Nearly 7 feet tall, with skin that shimmered like chrome yet rippled like silk. Her eyes held galaxies. Literally. When she blinked, I saw nebulae swirl behind her lids. And when she spoke, her voice was layered, like a chorus of whispers wrapped in thunder. But what she said stopped me cold. "Forgive me, Sacred One. I meant no offense by seizing you. My people believe in preservation, not desecration." I laughed, mostly because my brain couldn't process what was happening. "Preservation." Cough. "You kidnapped me." She bowed her head. Actually bowed. "I seek understanding, not ownership. Please indulge me. Allow me to study you. I will offer anything in return." I looked up at her, blood crusting in my nose, ribs bruised. "You want to study me? Like a rat in a lab?" "No," she said. "Like a god in a cathedral." The worshippers. Over the next few weeks, or what passed for weeks in the Kilari's warped perception of time, I learned the truth. Thousands of years ago, the Kilari had discovered humanity. They watched from afar, their sensors tracing the emotional wavelengths emitted from Earth. They had never encountered such chaotic beauty: love, grief, rage, hope, sacrifice. It was art, alive and unfiltered. To them, we were divine animals, too precious to touch, too dangerous to ignore. "They believe your kind burns too brightly," Vylara explained, once as we sat in her atrium, a place of floating gardens and glass-like vines that hummed with light. "You are ephemeral, while glorious in your pain." I squinted at her. "And what do you believe?" She was quiet. Her hand, long-fingered and graceful, drifted close to mine, almost touching. "I believe you were made to destroy everything we fear, including ourselves." I didn't know how to respond. I stared at the massive sculptures surrounding us. Hundreds of human figures carved in crystal. Some looked like ancient warriors. Others broken and weeping. One of them looked exactly like me. "You've been watching us a long time," I muttered. "Longer than you can imagine," she whispered. That night I dreamed of fire. Not war or death. Just pure burning light. When I woke, I found Vylara sitting cross-legged at the edge of my sleeping chamber, watching me as one might watch a star explode. The falling. I don't know when it happened. Maybe it was the slow unraveling of my resentment. Or the way she brought me books from 100 dead civilizations. Maybe it was when I heard her laugh, really laugh, for the first time after I told her Earth jokes that no alien translator could make sense of. But I started falling. Not in the human sense. In the deeper, more terrifying way. I stopped being her sacred beast. I became her obsession. And she became mine. The chamber doors no longer locked. The guards disappeared. My meals turned into shared banquets. Her fingers brushed my hair. Her voice softened into something near affection. One day I caught her sketching. It was me. Not heroic or powerful. Just me, sleeping, curled under the folds of alien fabric, vulnerable and small. "You're not afraid anymore," she said. "No," I replied. "You're not as scary once I learned you have nightmares." She looked away. Her people would have called it blasphemy. One of the sacred beasts entwined with a Kilari. Abomination. Desecration. But the more we shared, the more I touched her, the more I saw that she was the one afraid. Afraid of her role, her fate, her people's doctrine. She told me they wouldn't understand. That they would execute her if they ever saw what we were becoming. But she didn't stop. The rebellion. The first sign of rebellion came in her tone. "My people are wrong," she whispered into my chest one night. "They worship you, but they do not see you. Not like I do. They fear your chaos, but they don't understand its purpose." I stroked her back, her skin cool and vibrating with bioluminescence. "What's the purpose?" "To tear down what should never have stood. And that's when we planned it." Vylara smuggled me onto a transport disguised as an archival relic. We hurtled through void rivers and gravity tunnels until we reached an unclaimed sector at the edge of the galaxy, a barren moon orbiting a dead star. There we would build something new. Home. Refuge. But the Kilari found us. The tribunal ship arrived in silence. Its hull bore runes older than Earth's atmosphere. They didn't send soldiers. They sent priests. The lead cleric was her father. The trial. "You have forsaken your kind," he roared. "You dare bring your flesh to kneel before the beast." Vylara stepped between me and their spears. "He is no beast," she hissed. "He is mine. And I am his." A collective gasp echoed across the court chamber. I stood then, shirtless, bruised, human. "Your species calls us sacred," I said. "But you treat us like relics. We're not gods. We're people. And she, your daughter, is the only one who ever treated me like one." The tribunal demanded her silence. They offered exile, memory erasure, rebirth through cloning, anything to undo the heresy. She refused. "I would rather kneel before love than stand among gods who feel nothing." And then she did it. She dropped to her knees in front of me. Tears, real glimmering tears, slid down her cheeks. "I am no longer Kilari. I am yours." The chamber convulsed. Lights dimmed. Even the stars outside the observation deck pulsed. And then something impossible happened. The priests bowed, one by one. Not to her. Me. The new beginning. We were not executed. We were not exiled. Instead, the Kilari evolved. Maybe it was Vylara's conviction. Maybe it was the raw rupture of their stagnant culture. But something shifted. They no longer treated humans as relics of chaotic divinity. They treated us as equal pieces of the cosmic puzzle. I returned to Earth with her beside me. First, people panicked. A Kilari on Earth. Politicians raged. Scientists gawked. Children stared. But soon stories spread. The story of the divine alien who knelt. Of the woman who defied her species for a human. Of the man who showed a race of gods how to feel. We built the first joint colony together, Earth and Kilari, on the moon that had once been our prison. It became a sanctuary. Place where no one bowed. No one ruled. And no love was forbidden. Epilogue. The legacy. Years passed.